So when I think of the role as a community coach, I think of the community coach as being a middle person between the family that's being hosted and then the family that's doing the hosting. My role is to make sure that both families have what they need. If there's any goals that the hosted family's working on, we work to achieve those goals and just pray with them and encourage them to make those strides for their families to be successful.
Being able to advocate for the referring parents was something that I was pretty passionate about. One of the biggest differences between a caseworker and a community coach is the relationship building. They are responsible for checking in with the referring parent, helping them to recognize what their goals are during the hosting and to work towards those goals, and also checking in with the host family to see how they're doing, how things are going with the kids in their home, helping to establish and encourage the relationship between the host families and the referring parents.
Part of my reason for wanting to serve with MVM is I also was a mom who was struggling to take care of my children. I also was a mom who at one point needed housing and, not having all the resources that I need to take care of my children. And so knowing that God has now blessed me and I'm able to be a blessing to others, this is really rewarding to me to be able to stand along the side of families who may be feeling like they can't go on. I've been that person.
It's really fun as a community coach to get to build relationship with the referring parents, to get to come alongside of them, pray with them, encourage them in the steps that they're taking, and also to just be a friend to the hosting family and work with them throughout the duration of the hosting. To just remind them that the hard work that they are doing and the struggles that they are working through during the hosting are a reflection of Christ's love for us and for the church, and that they are literally the hands and feet of Jesus as they are loving the kids in their home and as a result loving the referring parents.
A lot of times, even though in my mind I think that I may have an answer or a suggestion, that is not my role to give them the answer and the suggestion. It's kind of my job to kind of walk along the side of them and let them create their own path. Not telling them what I think they should and should not do, but allowing the family to create their own path and create their own successes, because at the end of the day, if I'm not around anymore, they have to be able to do what works best for their families.
I know for me in my own life, having someone walk alongside me in the tasks that seem big or scary or difficult, just having someone there to do those things alongside of you is a game changer. And so that's something as a community coach that we get to do. Oftentimes I've been just impressed by how much the host parents already know about resources and how much they've already done on their own. If you have hosted before, you know that burnout can happen, and there can be some really tricky situations that host families walk through, whether it's behavioral situations with the kids or behavioral situations with their own kids.
The beauty of My Village Ministry is there's a wraparound. There's a number of different staff that could help me with this family's goals. I've had families who are working towards housing, getting bills paid, daycare, finding school for their children, just living day to day, being able to provide for their families just for day-to-day needs.
I've been humbled by the obedience of the host families and just seeing their willingness to say yes when it's a really hard yes, and they are stepping out in faith to say yes because they see the need. And in those hard yeses, I think I have just been reminded that as being part of this ministry, we get to live out what Jesus has called us to. We get to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and I'm reminded as I'm in this role, the gift that my family has had in being a part of the Big C church community as well as Little C church community.
I think you have to have compassion. I feel like you have to have empathy and just love. These families, they really, they experience trauma. Being able to listen and to be able to be compassionate and show empathy is something that you need to help encourage them along the way.
The bigger picture is getting to share the gospel and reminding families and reminding referring parents of the hope that we have in eternity. Because as long as we are living on this earth, we're going to experience illness and brokenness and grief. When we keep our eyes fixed on the hope of eternity and we get to share that hope with the families that we're interacting with, that's the greatest gift.